Yo, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Are y'all trying to hear about the time I dated a whole drug dealer? Yo, what's up, demons? Welcome back to my channel. It's Danny, and I'm here to tell you about the time I dated a whole drug dealer. Did not even know. Making my parents proud day by day. The general theme here is going to be disappointment. All right, so if any of y'all have seen my most toxic relationship video, there's a point, oh gosh, this is just such a crazy ass like chaotic timeline. So there was a point where I kind of had like the battle of the exes, and I had a really toxic ex and we weren't together, and we went to the club and we had this whole like, there are no rules, we could talk to whoever, which was just stupid. It's just a stupid idea. Don't do it. But we were just like, oh, we're gonna have a fun club night out. I also let my ex know that I was open to inviting other ladies into our relationship for a one night type of thing, respectfully to all parties, of course. Only with my ex, because I was very comfortable with him and I trusted him. He was like one of my best friends at the time. And so I was like, oh, you know, like some girls have this like, oh, me and my boyfriend go to the club, he's mine, nobody look at him, nobody touch him. I was like, y'all gonna look at him and touch him? Oh my gosh. And he had this like, oh, okay, you about that life, all right, bet, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I said, we weren't together, so this was just a whole messy situation, but I did let him know that I was open to that. Now, it was stupid. My ex is selfish because he just kept cheating on me anyways with other women, so obviously he didn't want to include other women because he's like, I'm worried you're gonna leave me for them, you're gonna like them more than me. But ironically, he kept cheating on me with those same other women. So he just wanted them to himself. I was like, all right, well, that's... Anyways, child. But that's beyond the point. So we went to the club one day and we had this like, oh my god, that whole night was a mistake. I was like, we're not together, but we've messed with each other and clearly there's still some type of feelings involved. We're not just platonic friends, so like, what are the rules for tonight? Like, what's going on? He had this like, he's very indecisive. He's so indecisive. He's the type of person that'll leave something up for you, and then if it goes bad, he's like, well, this was your idea. Like, he's one of those people. I feel like that's why he doesn't decide. He doesn't want to take responsibility or accountability if something goes terribly, terribly wrong. And so I was like, all right, we're not together. You know, you don't want to claim me, this, that, and the third. We have our issues. So it can be an open free-for-all night, as long as nobody's like going home with anybody else. Obviously at the end of the night we're gonna go home with each other, okay? But while we're here in the club, we still know each other, but we're allowed to flirt. We agree that I'm allowed to throw twerks and he's allowed to catch them. We're allowed to talk to people, we're allowed to flirt with people, whatever. Anything goes except for going home with an actual person. As you can imagine, naturally this turned out horrendously. It was a terrible night. I already talked about it in my other story time. Quick recap. He was super smug. He was like, the girls come to me, just come to me, this, that, and the third. I was like, okay, bet. So of course, got ready, got cute. We are both with our best friends too. So it's me, him, and both of our best friends at the club. Party of four. As soon as we walk in, and this is my record breaker. Mwah. I'm not mad at it. As soon as we walk in, as soon as we pass by a bar, I pass somebody who like taps me or grabs me or whatever, and they're like, excuse me, off the bat. And so, can you guess who our guest star is? Yes, my future drug dealing boyfriend. And so I was enticed by him because I've been to that club plenty of times with my friend. All sorts of characters approach us. Obviously they're all just trying to hit, or they're trying to talk to you so they can eventually hit. But this guy asks to take me out to breakfast. Not only do I love breakfast, but I love a man who's willing to feed you and try to feed your soul. And I also love somebody who's willing to still go out on an actual date in public. Hello? Maybe not right now because of the pandemic, but this was way before the pandemic had even started. This was like in February. This man was ready to have a conversation with me, y'all. Like, sit across from me and have a conversation. Now, later we find out that he barely says anything. But that's beyond the point. He's down to take me for a date. So of course I'm already vibing with him. He looked older, which I prefer older men anyways because maturity. So I was like, all right, I already stepped into the club. I'm not hunting. I'm not on the prowl when I'm in the club. I'm minding my business and I'm dancing. I'm vibing. I'm talking to my friends. I didn't come out here like, oh, I'm gonna hurt my ex's feeling and show him how much of a Bitch, I am. Make sure he knows everybody's on me. I was like, if nobody approaches me tonight, that's fine. If nobody approaches me and he gets dances, that's fine too. Either way, I'm winning. Either he brings somebody back or I get to remind him that I am a bad bitch, because for some reason it takes other people approaching me and willing to treat me right for him to be like, you know, maybe I should do the same thing. So already off the bat, I have a breakfast date and we just stepped in. I ended up talking and vibing with this guy all night. He ended up buying me a drink. I made sure he didn't poison it or nothing crazy like that. We were just chilling. I was dancing with him, etc. We were talking and he was actually telling me things. He's traveled. His favorite place is New Orleans. I was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. He goes places, I go places. We might have a match. There is a tense moment where me and my ex and our two best friends, we all had congregated because at one point he had told me, the guy who's supposed to take me out to breakfast, he's like, oh, I gotta go, you know, do something real quick. I gotta run out. Like, you know, you trying to come with me? And I was like, no, that's how you get kidnapped. No, thank you. But you're cute though. Nice to meet you. And he was like, nah, like, okay, if you ain't gonna come with me, then I'm gonna have to come back here. He was like, if you're here, I'll come back for you. I was like, you gonna pay to come back into a club to just come back for me? I was like, you're going to pay actual money to come back into a club twice just to see me and come talk to me. Because I hang out with the type of guys that complain about the club fee once, and that's fine if you're down bad. But if you have it and you spend your money on other like trivial stuff, you can come to the club for like $5 to $10 if you want to have fun. That's only if that's your type of scene. So complaining about it seems kind of stupid because I'm like, okay, but you also spend your money on this, that, and the third. But anyways, here I have somebody willing to pay twice just to come back into the club to see me. He could have easily just got my phone number or whatever, which he did, but he's like, no, like, I need to see you again tonight. I have to really go take care of this, but I'm gonna come back for you. And I was like, okay, whatever. So during the time he had left, I had gone back to my ex, our two best friends, and we were just dancing, vibing, stuff like that. My ex looked like he felt some type of way because, like, wow, like, you're already out here talking to men. Excuse me, I thought we agreed on this, but anyways, that's a whole different story. Tell me why some time goes by. You know, I was dancing with my ex for a little bit, like, all right, whatever, we're cool, etc. And this guy comes back. He actually pays to get back into this club. He comes back in. He sees me dancing with my little group, and he reaches over my ex, who is like 6-something. He's pretty tall. And this guy's actually shorter than my ex, but he did not care. Reaches past my ex, grabs me, and like pulls me towards him, like, all right, baby girl, come back to me now. I was shook. I was like, where are the cameras? What's going? What kind of YA movie is this? What's going on? The drama. Oh my gosh. And I didn't even mean for it to go down that way, but I was just like, still kind of like, okay, I didn't know what to do. Do I sit here and I pull back away from this new guy who said he's gonna take me to breakfast and he just paid twice to get into the same dusty club he's not having fun in just to see me? Or do I stand here and defend my ex like, oh no, don't pull me. Stay here with the man who, you know, hurts my feelings sometimes. So I just let him pull me, and I was just sitting there like, yeah, just like that. A little bit like, oh yeah, wow, you really came back. Oh my god. Y'all, my ex ends up leaving the club because his pride and his feelings and and that's fine. I'm not saying you have to sit here and watch me entertain another man if you have feelings for me, but I had been told him to act on those feelings, to do something about it. I was like, all right, you are basically taking up the space for another person to come treat me right, so I'm gonna be open to that. Like you said, just come to you, you know, the girls come to you. So I feel like you're just feeling some type of way because you don't have people approaching you the way people are out here approaching me. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're not ready to talk about that, I guess. Tell me why my ex pulls off from the club. He and his best friend leave despite the fact that they were our ride. They ditch us at the club. They leave us stranded. They don't know if we got any type of money to call a ride share, but they leave me and my best friend at the club with this new man who has been, you know, talking about taking me to breakfast. I was like, wow, first off, we could be two broke bitches you don't even know, and you are our only ride. I could have left my wallet in your car. I could have left my money. I could have left my credit cards, my keys, my phone. Like, I could have left everything in your car. You just swerved off and left us with this random man, like, and that was a red flag to me too, because I was like, okay, we had previously agreed on the arrangement we had coming into this club, which was messy and stupid. You know, I feel like if it was the other way around, because I know him, if it was a girl that had approached him and did all that with him, if this was his situation, he would have been over here smug as hell, like, yeah, you know, I'm that good. If I had an issue with it, he would have been like, oh, you're being dramatic, you're being sensitive, we had an agreement. He would have hit me with that so fast. But because it was happening to me and his pride was hurt, it was a problem. That's just because I know how my ex operates. So he swerved off on us and left me and my best friend with this random guy. Stranger danger. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't have just rolled off with any type of person I just met in the club. However, this man had proven that he seemed extremely safe, and me and my best friend were there, so I was like, all right, 2 against 1. We could take him, we could swerve the steering wheel if we go with him, etc. Also, we don't have a ride. We can't go nowhere right now. We are legitimately stranded. Either we shell out for a ride share, or we can go, you know, hang out with Kid here. So y'all, tell me why we go with him, and it's such a fun night. This man has connections out the ass. He has all these spots, these after party spots that he knows about, these VIP clubs. You have to have like a name on the list to get in Richmond. I didn't even think Richmond, Virginia had places like that, but he knows all these little spots that you gotta know people to get in and stuff like that. He becomes our club hookups. Not only is he paying for my entry into an after hours like exclusive club, but he offered to pay for my best friend too, and he did. We go to a bunch of after clubs, and then he still takes me out for breakfast, y'all. And my best friend. He took us both out for breakfast, paid the whole bill, and he tipped heavy. And he had this dismissive like, guys, whatever, you know. And I know it's just Waffle House, but like, no one's ever just bought me Waffle House before and just left it at that. My ex is the type to be like, oh, I bought you Waffle House? You're lucky I like you. I'm so lucky, y'all. I'm so lucky. He claims he's joking when he says things like that, but none of it feels really funny. So we are going to clubs I've never been before. You gotta go to like back alleys and go here and go there and go all these little secret alcoves just to get to it. You gotta tell your name on a list and stuff like that. He still had to pay, but he was willing to pay for the 2 of us and his own entry. He has even treated my friend before when her date, because we've gone on double dates before, her date didn't pay for her share. Not gonna lie, it felt lovely. Lovely having somebody treat you and not think twice of it, not rub it in your face later, not make you feel like you owe them anything later because they bought you a $15 blah bitty blah blah. I didn't like this guy because he had money, because I didn't know he had money when I met him. And apparently when he was in the club talking about some, oh, I gotta run, I gotta do this, apparently he had to make some kind of drop. I have this like, make your cash as long as you're not hurting anybody. I was like, I have no issue with dating the plug, but I still did not know what he did at this point. I think the way I had found out, one day we were clubbing and he was drinking, and apparently he likes to drink. So this is what I'm slowly starting to discover things about him. He likes to drink and talk. He's like his own drunk therapist. On one of the occasions we went out, he had started talking about like, oh, you know what I do, right? You know what I do. And I was like, what? Huh? And he was talking about spoiling me, paying for my school, getting me through college, having us start a business together. He was talking all this talk, meeting his daughter, because he did have a daughter, like a preteen daughter too. All this big talk about all the things we were gonna do and all the things he was gonna do for me. He's like, you know what I do, right? You know what I do. And I started to pick up like, oh, you know, I think I might know what you do now. Even then, I still wasn't in it for the money. So things with the other guy, the ex who ended up swerving off on us, he came back and he was like, yeah, okay, the whole club night, I'm sorry, it was my pride, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. We talked it out, and he was like, we could still get back together and whatnot. I was like, oh, yeah, you see, you didn't claim me when you had the chance. I was that bag, that one bag sitting at the airport carousel that nobody came to pick up. You're too late. Somebody came to claim your bag. You are way too late. I told you to decide how you felt about me and to take me while you had me. You did not. You did not claim me. You gave me no type of title. You gave me no reason to behave. And now you're mad because somebody else swept in. So he was over here like, yeah, you know, like we could still get together. It doesn't matter that another guy is like trying to court you. I was like, no, it kind of does. I'm gonna see where things go with him because I've had so many issues with you before. And so that ended up getting closed off with like me and my ex, and I explored this new chapter with Club Guy. I'm gonna call him Ghost, which is actually like my nickname for him because he was never there during the relationship. Why is that people fight so hard? Some men will fight so hard for the prize, and then they just throw it away once they get it. Like, okay, I got it. I just wanted to see if I could get it. So things are going well. We had a movie night, and because he was spoiling me, I'm the type to match energy. And so it wasn't much, but I bought our movie tickets because he wanted to go see this movie. I pulled up on him, and we ended up taking his car to the movies. He got snacks and everything. During our first date, I ended up falling asleep because I did not want to watch that movie. I was just trying to show I was participating in this relationship. And so I did not want to watch the movie. I fell asleep on his shoulder. He thought it was hilarious, etc. We're hanging out. It's super chill. We're vibing. He's super mature. He's just quiet. He seems introspective. He's just, you know, really just just there. He doesn't talk much. He's kind of mysterious. I was like, man, I'm going for the quiet types now. They're ones that aren't talking. Things are going pretty okay. We go out clubbing sometimes. He'll pick me up. He's like my own little personal rideshare driver, so he'll come pick me up if I'm in the city. Like, me and my best friend went to a concert. He came to pick the both of us up. He was out here gassing me up. It's my girl, this, that, and the third, kissing me. So I was just like, Someone's claiming me loud and proud. This is the complete opposite of my ex, who was like, I don't know if I want to be with you. I'm just wait around, but I want to get all the benefits of like friends with benefits or girlfriend or whatever it was. I'm gonna just wait around and just hope you stick around and put up with my bull. And I had this like, no, I'm gonna leave. Like, I'm gonna leave if you don't do something about it. He's like, no, you're not. And then I like ended up leaving. So everything's good, like, we're vibing. He's super generous, super sweet. I don't really have anything bad to say about him. I'm not gonna like shame his character. We hang out, we do stuff, you know, and there was a period of time where he was trying to hang out with me, but I was just busy with friends, so I wasn't always able to hang out. And then it just switched. I don't know if it was some type of revenge because I was hanging out with my friends, but I would try to reach him. I tried to call him, FaceTime him, hang out, and he was never available, thus the name Ghost. I could not reach this man for the life of me. Like, he was gone. I don't know where he would go to. He'd be in Ohio, he'd be in all these different states, but he was not in the state of our relationship, that's for sure. And so I could not reach him. I was getting fed up because I was like, you went from like, I want you, blowing up my phone. He would call my phone. Like, if he thought he had an issue with me, or if he thought I was hanging out with another guy or something, he would blow my phone up with like 10, 15 missed calls back to back. Like, I know you're looking at your phone. And so it went from that type of energy to like him just completely being vacant in our relationship, to the point where I was not able to get his attention and I was feeling extremely neglected. And I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't have left, you know, guy from work. Like, obviously these two options both kind of suck. I should just go back to loving myself and minding my business. However, I have enjoyed, you know, the different perks I've been getting, and I'm vibing with it. I like having somebody's company. I like going on dates and being taken out on dates. I like going on little adventures and stuff. So when it's good, it's good, and I stick around for that. And when it's bad, I question why I stuck around in the first place. So he starts literally ghosting, and he still vibes with me. He does this thing where he'll ghost for a while, and then he'll come back like, no, I'm sorry, I've been here, you know, I'm about my business, I'm about this money, you know, I'm working for us, I'm working for all these things, I'm working for my daughter, I'm working, you know. And like, can you be mad at that? Yes. But I didn't know that at the time, and so I had to like, all right, I kept forgiving him. We'd hang out occasionally, try to make things up, but he just kept disappearing and reappearing, and I was like, are you cheating on me? Are you doing business? I finally figured out that he was like a whole drug dealer, so I was like, all right, you're doing business. And I thought it was kind of sexy. I thought I was like, oh yeah, like, my man's missing. Like, that's so sick. My man's missing doing business. Like, yeah, you know. I ended up finding out that he went to jail over, what had happened. He said he had slammed a bottle over somebody's head because they were insulting the girl he was with. And I was like, all right, sounds like anger issues, but good job on defending a woman. That's, yeah, okay. I kept looking at silver linings. I was definitely like the red flags through rose-colored glasses type, unfortunately. And so he would just tell me things. He would make comments that didn't always sit well with me. Oh, we could be poly, but like only if I get all the girls, or like just other like little comments he was making. He drank all the time. I don't know what it is with some black men and Hennessy, but like, he drank all the time. No joke. I got this man a bottle of Hennessy for Valentine's Day. He drank the whole bottle within like 2 hours of us hanging out, and then we drove to the liquor store so he could buy another bottle because he was like, this is a small bottle. I was like, sir, it's 11 in the morning. You can't be this trouble. You can't be this trouble at 11 in the morning on Valentine's Day. It's not that serious. But it just got to the point where I was like, your problems are coming out. They're coming out so soon. And I love the generosity. Like I said, he was treating me, not only me, but my best friend too. We were like going out. He'd treat us to clubs. He was always paying for food and stuff like that. That was the one relationship where I did not lift a finger. And I was not used to it. It scared me. I was very confused. I was like, oh, you have money at your disposal, but it was still strange for somebody to spend money like that on me. It was probably the first time I accepted it. Now, I wasn't greedy with it. There was one time we were hanging out and I walked off. I was going to my car. He walked me outside. He's like, do you need anything? I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, you don't need nothing? Like, no money or nothing? I was like, I could always use money, but I don't need it. I'm not gonna take it from you. I was like, no, I'm fine. He looked at me like confused, like, I offered you money, you don't want it. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, we hung out, I'm chilling, like, it's whatever, you know? He seemed so shook. I think he might have fell in love with me a little more that day. But that said, he was just too absent from the relationship. I don't know what type of business he was doing. I don't know if he was talking to other girls. I don't know what was going on. He was always everywhere but like hanging out with me, and he'd come back and blow up my phone and hang out. I just couldn't deal with it. It was too unstable. It was way too unstable. I could not. He was really absent, and later I found out that like yo, so he used to tell me his house was hot, right? So one time I went over to spend the night, and he got on me for like, he's like, you can't be in and out, because I needed to go out and like run out and come back. He's like, you can't be in and out, you can't be in and out, my house be hot and everything, you can't just be coming in and out, like if you come over here and spend the night, you need to stay in. I was like, who am I, Rapunzel? Like, first off, I'm not gonna come over here if you're gonna talk like that. But I was like, what is it, like, why am I not able to like go in and out? Like, was something going on? Is there like a drug front war in your front yard? Like, you know, explain. And so he answered that, and I was like, all right. And he used to always be like, oh, you can't come right now, my house is hot, my house is hot, my house is hot, like, you know. And tell me why. Oh my gosh, y'all. So the house I was going to, which I thought was his house, and I was so impressed. So he used to tell me his house was hot, and in my head I was imagining Black Sons of Anarchy. I was imagining Breaking Bad, but with weed, or, you know, I'm not sure the specifics of what he was selling. I would like to think it was weed. I was thinking that. I was thinking cars pulled up to his house. They had stuff going on. No violence. Of course, no violence, nothing that would put anybody at risk, especially him since he's a black man. I was like, no, nothing like that, no cops, no nothing dangerous. But I just imagine cars pulled up and they're doing their business and all his friends and like Sons of Anarchy vibe, but make it black. I imagine that, and not in like a creepy, like fantasizing way, like, yeah, my man's a drug dealer. It was just like, when he said it, I was like, oh, his house is hot. I'm dating a whole, like, oh, he really is like a rude bad boy. Y'all, tell me why I found out that this man lives with his parents still. Yo, and I found this out months later, because I know this person, he's still on my social media and stuff. I found this out months later. Tell me why. I think I just realized that when he said his house was hot, it meant mommy and daddy were home. Y'all, I was so shook. And I found this out because one day when I was there, I walked right past them in the living room, and I was like, oh, okay, this is not your house. I mean, it is, but you're a part of this house. You don't own this house. And the issue wasn't the fact that, oh, this is not your house, I don't like you anymore, I don't find you attractive. It was that you were out here implying this whole narrative of like, oh yeah, this is my place, my house is hot, you can't come through, you know what I do, you know what I do, like, oh my gosh, you know, I've been to jail. I'm not saying he was fabricating any of it, I do believe it. I just felt like he was feeding into this like, I'm for the streets narrative, but then at the same time, the way he'd be acting was just like, it was just a clash. It was a mix between like, oh yeah, I've been to jail. He offered to make me that jail food. What's it called? I forgot what it was called, but he offered to make me this food that's like popular in jail, like something they just put together or whatever. And he was just telling me all these stories. I'm not saying he wasn't about that life. I'm not saying I wanted him to be about that life. I just didn't like this narrative of like, is that all you are? Like, who do you aspire to be? Okay, you've been to jail. Okay, you are a whole drug dealer. Okay, you go to clubs every week. Well, what else are you doing with yourself? Like, he stayed in clubs all the time. He spent so much money for club entry fees, bottles, drinking at the liquor store. I was like, the amount of money you're spending on that, you could be investing in a business, you could be investing in yourself, you know. And I'm not saying he didn't handle things, because he did have a daughter and he spoiled the hell out of her. I gotta give him that. He was spoiling her, but I just had this like, what are you doing for yourself except for drinking Hennessy, driving around and going to clubs and stuff? Like, what do you actually do? And you know what, maybe he was just so secretive for me that I didn't know his business. Maybe he is investing in businesses, maybe he's investing in stocks. I don't know what he's doing, but he's still in my DMs. He's still in my DMs. Damn near 2-3 times a week. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's link up. Let's go out for drinks. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's link up. And he's so flaky. He's so flaky that if I said yes to any of these things, he'll either disappear, he'll stop messaging. That was another thing. He would literally set up things just to ghost them. It was the weirdest thing. And so I don't take him seriously. I told him, I was like, you can pull up if you're trying to take me on a date or take me on a trip. Aside from that, I don't trust you. I was like, I don't even trust you to go get me milk from the grocery store at this point. Like, you're so flaky. If I was dying, I would not call you. I'd be like, yo, please, like, can you go get some help? And he'd be like, yeah, I got you. And just would never show back up. Like, it was so bad how flaky this man was. But then he stays in my DMs, like, no joke, he's always messaging me. I just recently blocked him because I was tired of it, but he stays messaging me. And then he got mad at me. He's like, you only hit me up when you need things. I was like, that wasn't always the case. I would hit you up just to hang out and you would bail on me. You would be flaky. You would disappear. So if you're in my inbox and you're not serious about hanging out and you're literally wasting my time, then yeah, the only thing you can do for me is like a favor. And even then, I don't trust that. He ended up in my best friend's inbox too, sending like heart emojis to her pictures and stuff. He's just strange. He a little weirdo. It just got a little pathetic. Not even the fact that he still lives with his parents at 30, especially after this pandemic. This all happened before the pandemic, but especially after the pandemic, I do not judge anyone for living with their parents whatsoever. But just the way he behaves and the lifestyle he like conveys, it's a no for me. But anyways, that's all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Go ahead, if you like this video, then like this video, subscribe, let me know you're vibing with the content. Y'all are my motherfucking monsters, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.